You can if you want. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Is there anybody in there?
Yeah, a couple people.
Okay. Well, then we'll do it for a couple people.
Okay. Hi.
Okay. All right. So, episode 3 of Conspiracies with Drake. Drake, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, boys.
How are you doing with your newfound fame? Everybody loves you.
It's gone all to my head. I had to shave my beard so people don't recognize me on the street.
Okay. So, here's me and Anthony talked about you and this particular show when you weren't around. I'm going to tell you what we decided.
Okay.
If people don't like this, which they don't seem to, we want to keep doing it until you make it unbearable.
Right.
All right.
All right. So what's today's episode about?
So as long as we're having fun, you have a job or something. So entertain me, monkey.
All right. I will. All right. Yeah.
Now, before you get started,
Oh, damn.
okay, here's where you went sideways last time. Okay. So I'm going to say, Drake, why don't you tell everybody what today's conspiracy is? That's where you say what the conspiracy is. Okay. You don't start reading 4 paragraphs of Wikipedia shit leading up to something that you ended up making up. Okay.
well,
So
I didn't make this one up. I swear.
Drake, please let me, Anthony, and our listeners in on what today's conspiracy is.
All right.
But before you get going, okay, go ahead.
All right. Just because I know how like derailed this goes, I didn't even bother writing a script this time. So I'm just gonna go off like my bullet points that I have written down. But today's conspiracy is about the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr.
All right.
I didn't realize there was a conspiracy.
Yeah, the FBI killed him.
Right, but what's the conspiracy?
That the FBI killed him.
I don't think it's ever been proven that they killed him. That's not like they admitted it. They said they didn't do it, right?
That's where you're wrong, Bucko.
They went, wasn't us. Okay, Drake, let's get into it.
All right. To preference all this,
Preference?
Preface.
Whatever. I'm bad with words. All right.
All right, Patsy, tell us what's going on here.
All right. Back in
Patsy recline. Go ahead, Drake.
Back in 1963, when JFK was assassinated,
November 22nd to be exact. Did you know that?
No, I don't really give a shit about JFK. If I'm being honest.
Okay.
And plus, that's not what today's conspiracy is about.
Got it. Go ahead. Sorry.
But when he was assassinated, Martin Luther King turned to his wife and said,
I've been shot.
He turned to his wife and said, "This is ultimately what's going to end up happening to me."
How do you know that?
Because that's what his wife said.
How do you know she's a credible witness?
What do you mean? How? You think she's just going to lie for no reason?
Yeah, if
Like
your
for
wife got
fame?
shot, if your wife got shot, wouldn't you try to write it out for as much as you could? Like,
No.
yeah, he knew the feds were going to do this.
Yeah, it was all set up by the federal government. Yeah, no. All right, but
I got a question, Drake.
okay.
Were black people allowed to ride in the front of the bus before or after JFK was shot?
After.
Okay, carry on.
After. I'm pretty certain it was after.
Do you think so? You really think that?
Well, yeah, because like that was like the whole portion of like what MLK was doing was to
Allow people to ride on the front of the bus?
well, not that to give blacks rights and stuff. So
Okay.
like these.
All right, so he was talking to his wife, and it was an
Yeah,
intimate
yeah, yeah.
moment.
All right,
and his
whatever.
wife divulged that information to the public like a bitch.
Yeah. But it was just a preference that he predicted his own assassination. Anyways, So in 1968, there was sanitation rallies in Memphis, Tennessee.
Like
which-
clean this shit up.
Well, it's more of
What's a
that they weren't.
sanitation rally?
Well, like they weren't getting paid well and all that, and the working conditions were really poor. That's what brought Martin Luther King to Memphis, was to
Who wasn't getting paid really well?
the sanitation workers. That's why
Oh.
they were protesting because of it.
Okay.
So because of that, that's what brought him there to give a speech.
What year do you think the Rosa Parks thing happened?
God, I don't like 58. I don't know.
Okay. So here's what I'm confused about. 1960, what year was the sanitation
Riots.
68.
riot? Okay.
68.
And was Martin Luther King Jr. alive for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 1968. And then I asked you what year the Rosa Parks thing was, and you said 1958.
I'm just. Why? Why are we referencing Rosa Parks in this? It has nothing to do with.
Why didn't you prepare with some Rosa Parks material? Come on.
No, I don't think you're understanding, because I asked you which one happened first, and you said that Martin Luther King thing happened first.
I don't know which one happened first.
But then,
there.
but if the Rosa Parks thing happened in 58 and Martin Luther King Jr. was in 68, what year did he die?
68.
Okay. So doesn't that tell you that it's 10 years after the Rosa Parks thing?
Bro, Rosa Parks got nothing to do with this. All right. So shut the hell up with your Rosa Parks bullshit. All right. And let's move forward.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So because of that sanitation, he was there, and he came to Memphis so often.
I thought you said you didn't have a script. That sounded scripted.
No.
All right, go ahead.
Like I said, I got my notes, my fucking
Okay.
chicken scratch that everybody makes fun of me about. But he stayed at Memphis at this particular hotel so much that he actually had his own like room named after him, called the Martin Luther King Suite or whatever.
Okay.
Is that
Is
how
it
much
still
of
there?
it? How much of what you just said is factual? That the room was called the Martin Luther King Suite.
Well, it was like suite. It was the King and Abernathy Suite because that's where him and his lawyer would stay.
Thank you.
That was the actual name. Yeah, I'm trying to paraphrase. So
No need. Take your time. Relax.
All right.
Do you think that Rosa Parks ever stayed there before it was named the Abernathy Suite? Did it have a hot tub?
Wasn't it Rosa Parks in like fucking Alabama? Like,
Look at you with your facts. I'm sure she'd never traveled outside of Alabama, at least not by bus.
Not by bus.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry. You brought this on yourself, Drake.
You're getting flustered. Don't
because
get flustered.
he's bringing up Rosa Parks, which had nothing to do with it. All right,
Right, but you challenged me. You said that you have thought of any
challenged
possible
me.
way that this could go, and you're prepared for any derailment. That's a challenge. Try me, motherfucker.
All right.
Next, you're gonna be asking me a question about the Denver airport too.
What about that?
Nothing to derail me even more,
Why would I reference that?
to piss me off. Okay. I hate this already. All right, so
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, thank you. Earl Ray Jones was the one that was set up to take the fall for the murder of Martin Luther King. Or no, Ray Earl Jones. Sorry, got that mixed up.
James Earl Ray.
James Earl Ray.
James, what like whatever. Fuck you. My shit. I should have wrote a script.
Roy Jones Jr.
The fucking fall man, right?
Who's the black guy with the deep voice? This is
Vader.
CNN.
What the? No, you're talking about Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Earl Jones? James Earl Jones?
Yeah, I
Is
think
that-
that's his name.
Is that the guy that
No,
Shot
it's-
MLK.
No, no,
All right. So who's
that would be funny.
so you're throwing it out there that they set up James Earl Ray. Who set him up? Or whatever
the
name you said.
FBI, the FBI set
Okay.
him up. So, um, before all this, he was in prison.
Who
Which James, whatever the shooter, James.
was? So he did shoot him.
Yeah. Whatever.
What was he in prison for?
I do know that he was serving
Attempted
20
murder.
years for robbing a store.
Okay.
Anyways, and he managed to escape by he was loading shit onto a bus, right? And he opened the box that was empty, got in it, put the cover back over, and then he got put on.
The old days were awesome.
Yeah, no kidding. Easy to escape prison, unlike today.
Just hiding this basket of laundry.
Yeah, essentially that's how comical it is. But to the FBI paid off. Well, okay. Essentially, the mob paid the prison warden to let that escape happen.
Hold on. What? So I thought you said it was the FBI. Now it's the mob.
Okay, but the FBI isn't going to go out and do their dirty work, right? So they were buddies with the mob, all right? So they told the mob, "We'd pay you, but you have to kill Martin Luther King." And their way was to get James to do it. So they had him.
How did you find this out?
Due to just let me talk, and then I can.
Man,
okay.
you can't even answer the simplest questions.
No, I can, but I'm gonna reference this person later, and then, but if I reference him now, you're gonna have no idea who the fuck I'm talking about.
Okay.
How about if you reference them now, if it relates
right.
to the question I just asked?
All right, fine. All right. So the owner of Jim's Grill was
I'm gonna guess his name is Jim.
no, it isn't actually.
Makes sense.
Used to be he used to be high like a supervisor in the police of Memphis before he retired and took over Jim's Grill. Anyways, he which is across the street from the hotel that Martin Luther King was staying at.
Okay.
All right. So he was working with the FBI, and they told him that. What was your question? I'm thinking, and then I completely just forgot what the fuck your question was.
So the guy that let me see if I get this straight.
All right.
The guy that owned Jim's Grill, not Jim, was working with the FBI in connection with the mob.
Yep.
To kill
Martin Luther
MLK.
King. Yeah.
And to frame James Earl Ray.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question, Drake, was, and how do you know this?
In referring to what?
Any of it.
Any of the wild
that's
accusations?
The mob. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So essentially, the FBI guy told the owner of Jim's Grill, which I have his fucking name somewhere in these notes, but I can't fucking find it. Yeah, the hell with it. Anyways, let's just call him Jim because that's just going to be easier.
Okay. Sounds believable. Okay.
So Jim was working with the FBI, and the FBI guy that he was working with told him that that they hired the mob to come out and actually do the hit, and also told him that the mob was getting James out of prison. And
Okay. So how do you know this?
From the FBI guy that informed. Oh,
Did you call him?
No,
You have sources on this?
All right, so, yeah. So in I believe it was 93, the owner of Jim's Grill came out and did an interview with ABC and explained his part in the whole assassination.
Okay. And what did he say? What was his part in it?
To dispose of the gun.
Okay. Thank you. Carry on.
Okay. So See, I'm doing good. I got this shit, except for this Rosa Parks garbage. All right, so once
what do you think about the thought that Rosa Parks was she was handpicked? She wasn't even the actual person that the bus incident happened to, but the woman that actually did it wasn't as well spoken or attractive. Not that Rosa Parks was like hot, but that she was swapped. What do you think about that? Because that is a true thing. That's not even a conspiracy. Rosa Parks was not the actual woman on the bus, but she was the spokesperson for the incident. Did you know that, Drake?
No.
Carry on.
Okay. So what? All right. So once James got out of prison, he met this fella named Raul. All right.
Raul or Raul?
Are you thinking of Ja Rule?
He meant Ja Rule.
Raul. I'm going to pronounce out Raul because that's the only way I can pronounce it.
There's no second R.
Okay, try that without that other R. Try it that way.
Raul. Like
you just add letters wherever. It's either Raul or Ralu.
I am sorry, I can't pronounce this Spanish name. All right, I have difficulties. I am American. I speak English. Raul isn't an easy name for me to pronounce.
No, right, but no second R.
But Mexicans add that thing. So try it that way with both R's.
I can't.
Try it.
Just try it.
I can't do the rolling.
Don't shit on their culture, Drake.
I believe that you can. I have faith in you.
No,
we're not going to move forward until you try it without. You have to roll your tongue.
2 rolling R's for a word that has 1 R.
I don't even know where to begin.
With the R, dummy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to do the rolling R. Right?
Did you have a fucking stroke? Just say it so we can move on.
Raul. That's the way. I can't pronounce it any other way.
I think it's Rarulu. All right, go ahead.
All right, so when he got out of prison, he happened to meet James.
Okay.
Once James got out of prison, he so happened to meet Raul. Raul.
I can't help it. That's so funny.
All right. Raul's name is not going to be Victor because I can pronounce Victor.
Oh, Drake, I want you to repeat after me, okay?
All right.
Raul.
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 What? Do it one more time. Do it one more time so I can pronounce this.
Raul.
Raul.
Look at you.
All right.
Good job.
All right. So once James got out of prison, yep, I know. Once James got out of prison, he happened to meet Raul.
Okay.
And so he happens to meet this nice guy that's giving him all this free money and fake passports and like identification.
Okay, pause.
Okay.
Where did you get this information? Like what you just said was when James Earl Ray got out of prison, he met this nice guy named Raul who gave him free money and passports. Like, do you know that to be fact?
Yeah, when he was still alive.
Quit saying he.
When James was still alive, he did an interview in which he broke down what happened on his side.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
So
what did he need a passport for? What country was he traveling to? Oh, okay.
All right. So
you didn't need a passport to go to Canada at that time. You didn't need a passport to go to Canada until after 9/11.
Well, I think it was a part of his escape plan because he was arrested in Europe after the assassination.
So maybe he needed the passport to go to Europe.
Yeah, well, whatever. Again,
Canada isn't Europe, right?
God.
You think Rosa Parks ever went to Canada?
They didn't have buses in Canada.
Anyways, so once Raoul gave him the money, gave James the money, Raoul told James to go buy a car, in which James went out and purchased a white Mustang.
All right.
You brought this upon yourselves with making fun of the way I pronounce the name. So now every time I have to say it, I'm gonna go Raoul. Otherwise, you guys are gonna fucking scream and yell at me for the way I pronounce it.
Okay.
Go on.
So awesome.
Drake, I'm just trying to help you present your information better. Like, you're saying all this stuff as matter of fact. What you should be saying is, according to an interview that James Earl Jones gave to CNN, he said this. Because then I don't have to question, well, where the fuck is Drake pulling this shit from?
Okay, well, this is all referencing that interview. So shut the hell up. And when I move forward, I will bring back up the sources. Okay.
Got it. Thank you. Go ahead.
You're welcome. All right. So once James purchased the well, if I say he's gonna say who is he?
Yeah,
so
I know.
I have to keep saying the fucking name.
We
Once
know.
James purchased the white Mustang, he continued to work with Raoul. has Raoul
It's never not gonna be funny.
He continued working with Lulu Magoo.
has Raoul James thought Raoul.
Can you say linoleum?
linoleum?
Can you say tarantula?
Tarantula.
Say the tarantula ran across the linoleum and got into the aluminum foil.
The tarantula ran across the linoleum floor and ran into the aluminum foil.
Okay, go on.
Okay.
So awesome.
What did Lulu do?
You can call him Lulu if you want. It's pretty funny too.
You'll call him Ruru.
All right. So to James's knowledge, Lulu was
Perfect.
was essentially selling the Cubans guns. And so in order to and he was like his little like errand boy kind of deal, right?
Wait, which one was the errand boy?
James
Was
was Lulu's errand
errand
boy.
boy.
Yeah.
So okay. So was Lulu in the FBI?
No, he was part of the mob.
Okay.
Or maybe. I don't know.
Lulu is so not an Italian name. All right, go ahead.
Oh, well, he was also not Mexican. Like they said his name was Raul, but he was like a white guy. So, anyways,
Okay,
I just figured I'd preference that.
got it.
Preface.
Preface.
That's
Okay.
So preference is something that you would prefer over something
yeah.
else. Preface means, the beginning.
Hey, Drake, do you know what condescending means?
So, as part of one of Lulu's errands, he was told to go buy a gun from a gun store, which was
Do me a
Come on,
favor.
interrupt
Okay. Like, you expect to come on here and just keep talking and us not talk. I have questions.
okay.
And you are the man with answers.
All right.
Remind me again briefly how Raul and James Earl Ray knew each other?
Because once he escaped from prison, Lulu came up to him and essentially helped him because he was in on the mob getting him out of prison, so he knew where to find them.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so the mob helped facilitate the escape of James Earl Ray from prison and then put Raul in place to kind of be his handler.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So he was sent to a gun store to purchase a Remington and fuck you. Purchase a Remington Game Master in 30-06. All right.
Hold on, say that again.
A Remington. He was sent to a gun store to purchase a Remington Game Master in 30-06, which is the caliber of the gun.
30-06.
Yeah, it's 3006.
What's odd about that?
No, that's that's how you pronounce the.
So is it ODD? Is that right? Like 30-06?
It's 3006.
30-06. So 30-06. Is it 30-06 or 30-06?
Whatever. Holy shit.
I just want to make sure I haven't been mispronouncing this my whole life.
It's the little details that matter.
Fuck.
Your whole thing's going to fall apart if you get the details wrong.
Right.
How,
These details are important.
On the way I pronounce a caliber, like.
Yeah. It's very, very important.
So instead of the 3006 round gun that he was supposed to buy.
is it 30-06 or 306?
God.
I'm just curious.
30-06. Okay. Instead of buying that, he bought one chambered in 234, I believe.
Okay.
Which is completely different.
Yeah, that's
That's an even number.
I should have brought bullets in here so I could like give some sort of
No,
reference.
I don't. No, you shouldn't.
But he so he purchased the wrong gun, and then Lulu made him go back and return it to the gun store. And I'm switching references now because the gun people came out after the assassination and talked about their experience with selling James the firearm. All right.
Okay.
They said that he seemed to be completely incompetent when it came to guns, and he didn't know what he was looking at.
Uh-huh.
Right. So he had to go back, return the wrong gun, get the right gun in the correct caliber in order to, move forward.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, going back to that interview, all right, he then drove to Memphis to where this deal was going to go down with the Cubans, right? Because that's what he thought was going on with Lulu, was that they were going to, he thought Lulu was going to sell the Cubans a ton of these guns.
Uh-huh.
Now, when you say he, are you talking about Raul or are you talking about James Earl Ray?
James thought Raul was going to sell the Cubans a ton of the 30-06 guns. So he had to drive to Memphis James had to drive to them.
He was just going to show him the one, like, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
And he had to drive, James had to drive to Memphis, and that's where the deal was going to happen.
Okay.
And Lulu told James, here, rent this room above the Jim's Grill. Like these are like his business, and then like boarding rooms on top.
Okay.
Rent this room. and just stay there and be ready. Well, as the
Are you all right, man?
no, I'm getting like nervous, but
Is this the crescendo?
I don't know what that is. Anyways,
So is this the peak of what's going to happen here? Is that why you're nervous?
sort of.
We all know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So with James renting that room, he was told to go up there and wait while Lulu did the deal with the
Cubans.
Cubans, right?
See,
But
I'm
in
paying attention.
Yes. But in reality, what happened was when Martin Luther King was outside the balcony, or on the balcony, sorry, outside the like room on the balcony, looking down, talking to everybody. Everybody was in their place, and
What does that mean?
like where they were supposed to be,
Ooh.
like James, James, Lulu, and Martin Luther King.
Mhm.
The shot was fired, and it struck King in the lower right of his jaw, right? So like the right side in the lower half, sending him up and back, right? This is important because, like the government says, if James is to take the shot from the window, it wouldn't send them up, it would send them down, right?
Okay.
Because there's no way from that window you can get it on the lower half of the cheek and have it go up.
Okay.
So where the conspiracy is that Lulu was the one that took the shot, and he took the shot from the bushes in front of the building. But the government tells you that James is the one that took the shot from a window, right? Well, what they didn't plan was there was a tree. There were many trees out front of the building, and there was a very large tree branch going across where the window is, and he couldn't have taken that shot with the tree there because you wouldn't be able to see King, and it would be an extremely hard shot. And
So hold on, let me stop you. If they're going to set up this really super elaborate thing where this guy does it, but the mob sets it up, and don't you think they would look out the window of where they're going to suspect the shot came from?
I mean, I would imagine, but I mean, I think they probably overlooked that portion because, again, like the FBI contracted the mob, and the mob was probably sloppy in some of their aspects of it, right?
Okay, so when there was an investigation after the assassination, wouldn't they eliminate him as a suspect if there's no way to take the shot from where he was sitting?
So after that night, when he was shot later that night at like 4 a.m, the police put in an order with the sanitation department to come and remove all the trees. So, so nobody could know for a fact, looking out that window if he would or would not have a clear shot.
So then where does the information come from that he didn't have a clear shot?
The fact that there was a tree there. And like it
No,
was
but
blocked.
who determined that there was a large branch blocking the view from his window to where MLK was shot?
His King's like lawyers and his party, because they looked over there, right? And you can't see a window because there's a fucking tree there. But again, overnight they had all the trees cut down.
So it was just somebody saying like, hey, there was a branch there. It wasn't like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then once that shot happened,
you're going to think I'm trying to trip you up, and I'm not. Okay. The tree's getting cut down. Do you know if that was something that was scheduled to already happen?
No.
Or is that something that, go ahead.
It was unprompted, and it was like the chief of police chiefs.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw in a reference.
No, that's good.
Sent an order to the sanitation department saying we need to have these trees removed to help with the investigation. But in reality, what happened was they were
that's important. That's also important.
Yeah.
Right.
So once the shot went off, James thought something bad went down with the Cubans, so he ran to get in the white Mustang, which he bought with Lulu's money.
Sure.
All right, but what you don't know as well is that they went out and bought another white Mustang, so there were 2 white Mustangs in the parking lot where James's car was.
Yep.
Yeah. So they which that was confirmed by a taxi driver that
What does that have to do with anything?
Would you let me get to it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
So that was confirmed by a taxi driver that lives in that upper area, and that he thought it was weird that there were 2 newer white Mustangs just parked right there.
Okay.
So once the shot went off, James thought something bad went down, so he ran out down the stairs. Went the wrong way. Suppose the government wants you to think that he went one way, dropped the bag, and then ran the other way to the car, and got in the car, and with Lulu, because after the shot went off, Lulu ran from the bushes past a drunk man in the bushes that was drinking, and jumped a wall, and got in the car, in the back seat of the car with Lulu, to which they drove away. The reason the drunk man's important is he's one of the witnesses that claim to have seen him in the bushes, as well as the King's attorney and everybody else saw the plume of smoke come out when the shot was fired.
What
from the bushes?
The fuck does that have to do with 2 Mustangs?
Well, because that was the getaway vehicle. All right. So they drove off, okay, in the white Mustang.
Yeah.
Right? And then they had another person get into the other white Mustang and drive off as well. So there were 2 cars. They knew he was in a white Mustang, and they were announcing he's fleeing in a white Mustang.
Okay.
Okay. Are we good?
No.
No? All right. What's wrong?
What's the point of? I'm confused. Why
Okay,
that matters?
hold on. I want to try to summarize, Drake, and then I want you to tell me what I've gotten wrong.
Okay.
Okay. So according to what you are telling me, Raul bought James Earl Ray a white Mustang.
Yeah.
And then, unbeknownst to James Earl Ray, he bought a duplicate Mustang and parked it next to him.
Yeah. Well, nearby. It wasn't like right next to each other.
Okay,
but
that's fine.
Yeah.
It was close enough to it that somebody noticed it.
yeah.
Okay. And then Raul shot Martin Luther King. James Earl Ray panicked, ran to the car where Raul was waiting in the back seat of the white Mustang.
Well, I think James had to wait for Raul.
Got it. Okay. So James had to wait for Raul to come and hop in the Mustang.
Yeah.
Then they drove off.
Correct.
Then the mob had somebody else come in and hop in the other white Mustang as like a bait car to try to distract the cops.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So then they take off in the opposite direction or the same direction?
Yeah. No, opposite. One went one way, the other went the other.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Now I
Still
understand.
doesn't make any sense, but got it.
But yeah, it does make sense. But I understand now.
Okay.
All right.
So on
Hold on. Is there anything else about this Mustang relevant to the story? Because I'd like to ask you a couple questions about it.
sort of, not really though.
Okay, so sort of not really. Okay, so Do you believe that there was a second car purchased by Raul to act as a bait car?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that James Earl Ray knew anything about that second car?
No.
Okay. If you're going to set somebody up for a murder, why would you want to be in the car with them? And what is the point of distracting the cops with another white Mustang to try to deter them away from the person you're trying to set up?
Well, I think it was more of them trying to be nice, because they did also give him new passports and IDs after the murder for him to be able to escape, in which he fled to Europe. So I think they were trying to give him like an actual chance of getting away.
So they wanted to set him up so everybody thought he did it, but they also wanted to help him get away.
Yeah.
Why do you think they would care if he got away? If he wasn't in on it in the first place?
To show that because they planted the gun that he handled with his fingerprints. They planted the gun to be found by the police, right?
Sure.
So they knew that he did it, so that him running would look more guilty.
Yeah, but why would they help him? Why would they care whether or not he escapes or if he gets caught?
Sorry.
No, but more importantly, Drake, why would the guy that set him up risk getting caught with him?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was driving to Birmingham, I believe, somewhere east, to catch a bus to go to Canada.
Do you think Rosa Parks was on that bus by chance?
Shut up. And
She was in the other Mustang.
While driving there, unprompted, Raul opened the door and jumped out the car. And no, I'm not shitting you. According to James, while driving, shortly after exiting Memphis, Raul opened the car door and jumped out, and he never saw Raul again after that.
Okay. Doesn't that sound suspicious?
And made up. Like if you're driving a car and somebody jumps out and then you say, I never saw them again, couldn't you just stop driving the car? Like, is it like he jumped out, but I have to keep driving? Like I don't have time for this crazy guy.
Yeah, he didn't have time, because he turned on the radio and found out that they knew that he was the one that did it, or so he was trying to flee still. So he didn't have time to pull over and ask him if he was all right and then get back in the car. It just
sounds so much easier and more neat if James Earl Ray just killed him. None of these pieces fit together nicely.
It all fits together nicely. All right. So anyways, he went to whatever town, got on the bus to Canada, and then flew to Europe and tried to escape, and then got arrested in Europe. Okay.
You know what's interesting is, if you would have asked me before we started this, who killed Martin Luther King, I would have said James Earl Ray.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought.
Sure.
And now that Drake is telling me what has happened, I'm absolutely convinced the FBI wasn't involved.
So that's where you're wrong still. Okay. So he, after James is arrested, whatever, that's the kind of end of his story arc, to sell you more on the fact that the FBI killed him. Okay. So, James,
you think Drake's a plant by the government to make conspiracies like, oh yeah, okay, that's not real.
Yeah.
James never shot the gun.
It.
I am. I'm so fucking tempted to start screaming at you.
Do it.
How do you know that he never shot the gun?
Because he said he didn't.
Oh, okay. That holds up.
Well,
bro, I didn't do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So Are we done? All right, good. All right, so it's like I'm a high school teacher or something. I swear to God.
Yes.
So after he handled the gun and all that, he gave it back to Raul.
Yeah.
All right, and that was the plant gun. All right,
Uh-huh.
and they shot one round through it.
Uh-huh.
Right, which the gun that he had is a pump action, which, this is a shotgun, but he had a rifle, which, pump action, in order to eject the round, you have to pull the action back, ejecting the case.
Yeah.
Well, with the gun, they still had the brass in it, so he never pulled the action back to eject the brass, or, the supposed brass that would have shot and killed him.
Okay.
Okay. And in the manufacturing of guns, there's this thing called why the fuck is it evading me? The barrels
Trigger,
right,
stock.
inside
Rifling?
the barrel rifle. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah,
Inside the rifle, there's something that.
yeah. In the barrel of a gun, there's rifling, which determines the amount the bullet's going to spin and all that, and each portion of the gun can look the same and all that, but with the data,
Ballistics.
Ballistics. Thank you. With the ballistics being as well as they are, you can match a bullet to a gun after it's been fired based on the rifling and all the other things. Not every gun is unique in that sense. No two guns are the same when it comes to the ballistics of it. So when they ran,
It's like he thought he dropped a bombshell on us.
no. Let me keep talking.
Uh-huh.
All right. So once they dug that bullet out of MLK, they ran the ballistics to the
Did they use like a beach shovel?
Yeah.
Just
They once they got the bullet out, they tried to match the two guns, and that bullet that came out of MLK was not matched with the gun that had James's fingerprints all over it.
Okay.
Where did you hear that?
Through the Martin Luther King family. Like, they did an interview, I don't know with who, but they did an interview explaining how they came to the conclusion that the FBI killed Martin Luther King.
And they said, yeah, the gun that didn't even match. And then the interviewer
Yeah,
said,
that was
really? Huh? Like, nobody needed proof or anything?
Okay, you did some investigation to prepare for this, right?
yeah.
Did you look for the ballistics report for the gun?
No,
Is there one?
I have no idea.
The answer is, of course there is. That's what backs up your theory here is, yes, there's one. I just didn't see it. Come on.
Yes, there is one. I just didn't see it because I'm not going to bring it up, send it to Doug and tell him to bring it up on screen so we can look. But
No, but you can't say something like that. Like, if it is true that the gun that James Earl Ray held, ballistics did not match to the bullet that they took out of Martin Luther King, like, that would be all you need.
That's the smoking
that's
gun.
That's it. And you're saying it so matter of fact, like, because they said this in an interview, it's now fact.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, yes, there is a ballistics. I'm sure the King family has made it public. I just didn't happen to find it. Okay, my bad. But
My bad.
and again, with the whole like where he was shot, there's no way that through the window they could have
Yeah, because of the
hit
tree,
him in
right?
the lower right. No, like even if the tree wasn't there, there's no way he's gonna hit him in the lower right cheek.
Yep. Gotcha.
But yeah, with all the evidence I've provided you with today,
Uh-huh.
the King family later sued the government for conspiracy to assassinate Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
and unanimous.
Anonymous?
Anonymously.
Unanimously, everybody agreed in the trial that the government conspired to kill
What,
Martin Luther King.
what year was the trial? Do you remember?
98.
I just didn't remember when it was.
Yeah. So, and they were awarded $100, stating that
What?
it was. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, because the King family stated it wasn't about the money. It was just to prove that the government, that the FBI were the ones that set out a hit for Martin
Yeah, that's
Luther
fine, but they
King.
could have taken the money too. I mean,
Yeah, I know. It's kind of goofy in my opinion, but
do you know what they
Yeah.
did with the money?
with the $100, probably bought some malt liquor or something. I don't know.
Pizza party.
But yeah, that's it. That's the conspiracy. There you go.
Do
That
you?
the F-
Okay. Do you? Okay. So, isn't the like if you're putting together a puzzle and everything's not quite fitting, but you can force it a little bit? That's what that story seemed like to me. Like, it's just much cleaner if James Earl Ray did it because he didn't like black people or something.
Well, you see that's the other thing is when it happened, everybody wanted to paint him as a racist, but he wasn't, like, at all.
I can relate.
Yeah, I'm sure you both could relate.
Yeah.
But
What's that supposed to mean?
to the amount of people that say you guys are, I mean, come on.
Jeez.
Okay, so with everything that was going on in the country at that time, I 100% believe that the FBI would have been involved in hiring James Earl Ray to shoot Martin Luther King.
Right. But it seems so convoluted that, like, the FBI hired the mob hired a guy to get him out of jail and frame him and give him a pat. Like, the whole thing just seems super convoluted for something that, like, some schmo at the FBI could just be like, here's $500, kill this guy for us.
Well, but the FBI doesn't want to be involved per se, right? They were to a degree, but, like, you have to have somebody do their dirty work, and in order to do that, they were.
I just realized that the whole point of this conspiracy is that the FBI facilitated the murder of Martin Luther King, right?
Yes.
But you never once said anything about the FBI.
Yeah, because it was because it was easier to reference the mob because that's
That's your fucking evidence?
no,
I get
it's
the evidence.
easier
It's
to
easy.
reference the mob because the FBI.
Drake, what ties the FBI to the mob?
Okay, the director of the FBI was good friends with the leader of the mob, and so he paid the leader to go and do everything.
So does that mean that everything that the mob was involved in, the FBI was also involved in?
Fuck you, Pokemon person.
Drake hasn't learned the art of reacting to comments on the fly. Okay, so
I'm still missing the connection, or like the solid evidence connection between the FBI and the mob.
Okay,
From what
and the
you
mob
said,
and Raul and James Earl Ray.
right?
hang on.
Check your notes.
I am. Don't worry.
Well, wait, it's fine. We need a theme song for this
I
show.
know. We need like an X-Files-y type theme song.
That's what I was thinking, like the XXX file.
All right, I can't fucking find their names in my fucking chicken scratch. But the point being is that whatever the leader of the mob's name is, was friends with somebody at the FBI, whatever his name is, they talked about it. Okay.
Who's
And those two talked about it
Okay.
and everything. So the FBI guy paid the mob guy to do all that work. And that's how the FBI did it.
So your evidence is like, just trust me, bro.
No, but I
But
can't.
kinda.
Drake, do you remember when you said that the airport runways look like a
See,
swastika?
I told you you'd bring it up somehow.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then I Googled it and got an overhead shot, and we determined that it in fact looked nothing like a swastika.
No, it looks like a swastika, but yeah.
Okay. So this is like the opposite of that. You're saying something that the FBI paid the mob to hire Raul to work James Earl Ray as a mark to frame him for a murder, with
Correct.
providing zero supporting facts or evidence.
Right.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, pretty much.
Got it. Okay. But you believe it nonetheless.
I'm presenting it really bad, and I probably should have wrote a script for it, but yeah,
That would have went way better.
Hey, shut up. All right. But yeah, I 100% believe that the FBI killed him.
Okay.
Wait, I thought the mob killed him.
The FBI hired the mob. It doesn't matter. It all goes back to the FBI.
Because
Oh my God.
do you understand the accusations you are placing against the United States government?
Serious accusations here.
I'm not making any accusations. It was proven in court that they did it.
They only got $100. They couldn't have done it that much.
It was just hush money.
It wasn't about the money.
Okay, so I had zoned off when you were talking about the court thing. So I don't even know what you're talking about with the $100.
They won their court case, but they
Who's
only
they?
won the
Raul?
the King family,
Okay, who'd they sue?
the
Yeah.
government.
The government, yeah.
They sued the government for,
Conspiracy to commit murder.
and they won.
Yes,
Correct.
$100. That
Okay.
means that their conspiracy wasn't all that big because $100 isn't that much. And everybody knows that the more you win, the
But the
bigger
King-
the conspiracy is.
The King family
I think
came out.
OJ's, like the Goldman family made or got millions out of it.
Right. Maybe you do that next time.
The King family said it wasn't about the money. That's why it was only set at $100.
Yeah, they were lying. Everything's about the money all the time.
Oh my God.
Am I wrong?
Hey, can we end this now? Or do you guys
No,
have more questions?
No, I'm looking shit up, and the only thing I see is, are you talking about the thing in 1999, the court case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Jowers for the sum of $10 million.
Who's a jower?
That was,
Is that the case you're talking about?
yeah.
But that's not against the government.
That's the FBI guy.
Okay, the family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Jowers for the sum of $10 million. That's different than $100. During closing arguments, the attorney asked the jury to award damages of $100 to make the point that it was not about the money. During the trial, both sides presented evidence alleging a government conspiracy. The accused government agencies could not defend themselves or respond because they were not named as defendants. Based on the evidence, the jury concluded that Jowers and others were part of a conspiracy to kill King and award the family $100. The allegations and the findings of the Memphis jury were later disputed by the United States Department of Justice because of lack of evidence. I mean, of course. Like,
So, okay.
Yeah, I did this conspiracy no justice. I'm not going to lie. I presented it pretty bad, but I feel like it's
you feel
it's a good.
you feel vindicated from your furry one last week?
Yes.
That one was bad.
Yeah, I felt this went a lot better. And
You didn't act like it went a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay, Drake. So you had sent me a message and you were asking if I could put up a poll on Patreon to get people to Mac the hypnotist
sorry.
says myth busted.
That made me laugh. Sorry.
Okay, so you had sent me a message asking me to put up a poll on Patreon to see what conspiracy they want you to do next.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't want to do that because I don't want to have any clue as to what we're going to talk about before we get into this.
Right. It's so
Okay,
much better
that's
if
fair.
neither one of us
Well,
knows.
that's why I said, I think it would be fun, but if you don't want to know before going in, then that's fine.
Just message Drake what you think he should do. And
Yeah, but they message me like really shitty fucking things. Like
yeah,
some
just
guy
message- yeah,
some
do
guy
that.
messaged me something about fucking milk, and I looked into it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Was it cockroach milk?
No, it was like Big Milk like funded the
And you didn't
God-
bring that to the show?
got like funded like the whole Got Milk campaign to
Sell milk? Duh.
sell
How's
milk.
that a
Like,
conspiracy?
no, like they lied about like all the benefits of milk or whatever, and it's just horseshit. That's why,
Yeah,
That
Pokemon's
actually
much
sounds
better.
fascinating. Like there's a conspiracy to sell milk to the general. I can't, whatever. That's fine.
So the only issue I'm having with the ideas is I want to do more outlandish ones that Hollow Earth, for instance.
Uh-huh.
Like I want to do that, but like there's no like evidence to support anything.
There was
I
no
don't think it
evidence
really
tonight.
matters to you, does it?
It does. That's what's preventing me from doing something like that.
Why didn't it prevent you from doing this then?
Because this one was facts. This
Where?
one had your facts and your governments and all that.
I use real names.
And your
I
facts and
use
your
real
government.
names. Yeah.
Raul.
Raul.
Lulu. Yeah. See. Yeah.
Okay. I would have been very disappointed if you came on here with like a Hollow Earth type conspiracy.
Okay.
I want more of the well-known type conspiracies.
Okay.
What I want to know about, if
Like
I'm
this
being
was
hon-
this was a good one.
no, this was good. What I want to know, and I'm being serious, I want to know more of the conspiracy surrounding the Las Vegas shooter that shot those people at the country concert.
Okay.
But I don't want to do any research on it.
Can we do that one next?
No.
Okay.
Now I can't because I don't want you guys to look for it. So it'll probably be. I will do it. I will give you that.
Okay.
But it's going to be later down the line where
Okay.
it's a surprise. That way.
Okay, perfect. I'll
Yeah. Good.
All right, Drake. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh.